My boss thought I was crazy when I told him I was going to go back to school and get a master's degree, probably because I was over the age of 50. But I got to tell you, it was one of the best career decisions I've ever made. So if you're thinking about going back to school and you're worried about your age, let me share some numbers with you from the National Center of Education Statistics, and I'll leave a link to this website in the notes section below this video. But as of 2021, and unfortunately I don't have anything more recent than this, as recent as it goes back, but as of 2021, in the graduate programs, so I'm not talking undergraduate, I'm not talking PhDs, I'm talking graduate programs, there was 695,000 students that were enrolled in 2021. And of this, over 130,000 were between the ages of 40 and 49. Now get this, over 62,000 were between the ages of 50 and 64. So I really don't think that you have much concern when it comes to age if you're thinking about going back to school. So why do people enroll in college, master's degrees, undergraduate degrees, getting their first degree later in life? Well, there's really 5 reasons. One is career advancement or career change. And that's one of the reasons why I enrolled, and I'll get to that in a second. The other one is self-fulfillment. I also had a little bit of that. Another one is economic necessity. Another reason is staying current in the job market, and I think that's a really important reason. Always talking about this in other videos, that you have to be a lifelong learner. And finally, sometimes people do this just to set an example for their kids. In my case, right about the time I turned 50, I started thinking about what it was that I wanted to do when I was 60. What was going to be my next pivot? Now, I got to tell you, I was a vice president information services. I had a great boss. I liked my job. I liked my team. I love my team, actually. But I just knew that I didn't want to be in technology when I was 60. So I started kicking it around in my mind, my head, and what I came up with was, how about teaching online college courses? I thought, I could do that any place in the world as long as maybe there was a beach to look at as I was grading papers. And so that's why I decided to go back and get a master's degree at 50 so I could teach online college courses when I was 60. So there you go, right there is the career change that I was looking at. But there was another reason too, and that was fulfillment. See, when I got my bachelor's degree, I was the only one in the family that had ever gone to college. And, be honest with you, back in high school, college was probably so far off, the radar. It was like I really didn't see much of a future at all. I was one of those kids. But I got a AA degree, and then I subsequently went on and got a bachelor's degree. And I didn't want to stop, but I wasn't able to when I was younger. So the opportunity came around, I had the money, and it was just something that I wanted to do. And the reason why I selected leadership, and this is really important because, as I mentioned, it was one of the best career decisions that I've ever made in going back to school. It was selecting leadership, and here's the reason why I selected leadership. I was always someone who on weekends you could find at a bookstore, and I was always going up and down the aisles looking at leadership and management books. And I always thought to myself, what gives the right to these authors to call themselves experts in leadership? I mean, I had a bachelor's degree in management, and I'd taken a lot of management leadership courses, and it's like, what do they know that I don't know? And so that's why I decided to take the master's in leadership, not to get ahead in the corporate world, but rather to just give me that master's degree and be able to teach online college courses when I was 60. But I thought this would be something that I could be engaged in. So I enrolled in it, and about 3/4 of the way through the program, one of the courses was on executive coaching. And up until that time, coaching to me was Little League or basketball. I mean, executive coaching, that was so far off my radar, but I really enjoyed the program. So much so that after I finished the program, I was like, well, wait a minute, do I want to teach or do I want to maybe start coaching? And well, obviously coaching won out. I had decided to go and enroll in another program for 18 months, and I became a credentialed professional coach. Was through the International Coach Academy. At that time, I then opened up a part-time business. I was seeing clients at night on the weekends, and I was doing career coaching while during the day, Monday through Friday, I was doing my vice presidency duties. In 2014, the company I'd been working for, they went public, and a lot of things changed in my role. Now, like I say, I loved my team, I had a great boss, but all of a sudden I didn't like what I was doing anymore. And yet I was doing the coaching on the side, and I really enjoyed that. And I just, I'm a risk taker in certain ways, and I decided I'm going to take a risk and see if I can do this full time. And so I gave 3 months notice, 90 days notice to my boss, who was really upset because he wanted to get out before me. I remember that. We'd worked together for like 18 years, and even to this day, we're probably the best of friends. But I made July 31st, 2015 my final day, and on August 1st, I took my coaching practice full time, August 1st of 2015, and I got to tell you, I never looked back. And this never would have happened had I not gone back and got that master's degree. So this is what I mean when I say it made probably the biggest difference in my career journey was going back to school. So if this is something that you're thinking about doing, I highly encourage you to look into it. Don't worry about the age. It's not going to be an issue out there. And by the way, I had 2 teenage daughters in high school when I did this, and I was working full time. Sure, I had to give up some weekends, well, pretty much a year and a half of weekends, but I got to tell you, it was completely worth it. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification. I do upload new career tips and strategies every Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.